guys, it's Danny. So today, time for part 2 of annoying aquarium stuff that I did like a while back at this point. Yeah, I'm recording them kind of at the same time, but I'm posting them at different times. As I was saying in that video, I have more stuff that are annoying. When I say this, you know, it's lighthearted, it's not that deep, but sometimes these things can get annoying. So I have more on my list that I think it's just fun to share with you guys. So if you missed part 1 of this little mini series, I'll link it to it down below. And as always, feel free to add to the list what annoys you most. It's not as annoying as to make us, you know, get rid of our tanks. Nowhere near that, but it's just fun to complain. Don't you like to complain? I like to complain. And I like to complain to you guys because you don't talk back. So let's start with number 1 today. Random air bubbles on a black background tank. You know how sometimes filters just purge air? Where from? Who can tell? Who knows at this point? We've all collectively tried endless different ways to make filters stop purging air and filling our tanks with tiny little air bubbles. Some of us have been successful to some extent. Many of us have not been successful in any way, shape, or form. I'm looking at my Oasis skimmer and my Oasis filter. You can't stop them from purging air. I don't know what to do. Anyway, air is not the only thing that creates tiny bubbles. It's also diffusers, CO2 diffusers, which are very helpful. And if you have like a white background or, you know, no background at all, it's easy not to see those air bubbles. But if somehow you want a black background, my gosh, those little bubbles will make you want glasses. Everything will look so blurry and fuzzy. It's so bad. I don't like them. Reason why I got myself a CO2 reactor. It's so good. I'm saving up so much CO2. Bad side is construction of it is a little sus. It cracks. I don't know when I'm gonna clean it. I don't know if it's gonna survive cleaning. The plastic, it's so brittle in my opinion. But it's worth not seeing those bubbles and actually having good distribution of CO2 and good, I guess, it's dissolving well. But yeah, are you annoyed about those bubbles? Because I am, you guys. I'm so annoyed. Number 2 has to do with CO2. Again, refilling CO2 bottles. I've mentioned this when I presented to you the baking soda CO2 DIY semi thing. Random words I said there. But anyway, there is a video about it. Yeah, as I said in that video, I hate going to fill up my CO2 bottles because 1, it's far away. 2, it's not a very friendly environment. I don't know, it's a little industrial and a little busy. Everybody with more important business than me is there, and I feel a little sad occupying like time because there are people who have like trucks of stuff to load, people who have maybe restaurants and stuff and they need it, you know, for the beer dispensers. I don't know how you call them. Anyway, there are people with real needs there, and here I am for my aquarium. I feel bad. I feel like I don't belong. People are looking at me a little weird. That's 2. And 3, they don't even give me the bottle back in the same day or at the same time. I need to wait for like a few days, business days, and if somehow it's a holiday that well, it's usually I don't know when holidays are, but if it's a holiday, can be an extended weekend even, I'm gonna get my bottle back in a week. No, thank you. So that annoys me. Filling up my CO2 bottles really annoys me. Hence why now I have the semi DIY system, and gosh, I love it because I fill it up whenever I want. Right, number 3. Oh, this is a good one. Lamps that don't have timers. I don't know if you know this about me, but I have another channel with orchids. Actually, this room is an orchid room, and then it became like a terrarium, an aquarium room. My life is dominated by timers. I have so many timers that if I would ever go bankrupt, I would sell my timers and be fine. Too many timers. And the fact is, they take up a lot of space on the plug. Now, here's the thing. Here in Cyprus, we use the UK type of plug, which is already big. It's nice and all, you know, I'm not going to go into the details. I'm not complaining, but it's already biggish and bulkish. You add a timer to it, you make it extra biggish and bulkish, and if somehow you need a splitter or something, it gets this big. I'm not even joking, it's as big as my face, the installation that I have sometimes. The last thing I want is timers. I do not want more timers. For what? For an aquarium light. And each light should be on a timer. No, I prefer lights that come with the timers integrated. Now, if you didn't know, Twinstar just came out with some official timers. Remember we used to have those third-party timers, which were great, but sometimes they weren't working. I don't know why. Now we have twin star timers, and I love it. I don't care if they have preset of 3, 6, 12 hours. It's fine. I don't need to control my timer so much. As long as I have an on-off button and a like 8-hour button, I'm good. I would rather have that than install another timer. Timed plug, I mean. No. So I really hope that we will soon have like this feature integrated on most lamps on the market. Right now, it's not installed on most. It just isn't, and it becomes annoying when you have multiple tanks. Don't even start me with the multiple tank syndrome. If you have multiple tanks, you will have multiple timers or like a cable extension on the same timer with a lot of other plugs into it. It's a whole problem with the cable management. I just want a timer directly on my light. That's all I ask for. That's all I want. Just, an integrated, maybe an inline timer. You don't have to connect it to the phone. It's fine. I don't need Wi-Fi connection or Bluetooth connection with everything I own. I just want a timer, even like a button. I want a button that can time my lights. That's all I want. Next up, generally poor design products. And I have a product in mind with that. Do you guys remember a while back I purchased some Blau skimmers? They looked very nice, and they're a good solution for those who have maybe white backgrounds. Generally speaking, surface skimmers, they're all black or a dark color. Well, the Blau ones were white. So if you wanted them to blend a little more on a white background, they were great. And overall, they're good products. I liked them, except one feature of the design. What is the number one thing you do in maintaining a surface skimmer? Correct? You wash the little sponge, you remove the gunk there because it gets clogged like daily sometimes. You remove the little gunk there. How do you have to go about cleaning that stuff in the Blau skimmer? Well, you have to take out the skimmer and break it in two, and then take out the sponge, rinse it, put it back, and put the entire skimmer back. It's not as easy as removing like the top part and getting, like, I'll give it, the Owase one purges a lot, not my favorite, but it has an easy mechanism when it comes to cleaning it. Design, flawless, I love it. But with the Blau one, how can you design something that needs removal from the tank on a daily basis even to clean up? And it's also so finicky to put back. No, why? Why would we design such features when we can just not, It's okay if you don't have a skimmer in your line. I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe just don't put it on the market at all. They're also not very costly, so it wasn't a big deal. But still, so annoying after using them a little while. No, thank you. Just me? Maybe? Okay. Number 5, another controversial one. Drop checkers. Those little glass, beautiful looking like teardrop things that you put a liquid in and it tells you if you have enough CO2. Yeah, I hate them. You know what? I can't see them. I can't see the color. I look and I'm like, what color is it? Light green? Is it medium green? Is it blue? Exactly what it is, because I cannot tell. Because most of my tanks do actually have a dark background or a plant background. And trying to see green liquid on a green background and seeing the difference in the hue is impossible. I mean, you'd have to have elven vision. I have poor vision. I actually have an astigmatism, not poor vision, and I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is that these drop checkers are not suitable for all backgrounds because they're very hard to read. There is a solution though, drop checkers that have a white background. You cannot deny those are the easiest devices to run and to read. Are they a little intrusive to the sight? Yes, they are a little bit. But if you have an issue reading drop checkers and you think like, oh, what's wrong with me? There must be something wrong with me. Everybody loves them. Everybody uses them. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to pretend like I see. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just buy yourself a white background one and your life will be much better. And no, you're not the only one who doesn't see that darn color against a green background. How am I supposed to know if it's light or medium green if the background is green? Next up, the bucket game. Do you know the bucket game? I'm gonna tell you the bucket game. You find a bucket, that's gonna be your tank bucket. And with that bucket, you will draw water from the tank, then take the bucket to the sink or the garden or whatever, or the toilet, then put water in that bucket and then bring it to the tank and put that water in the tank. That's not a good life. Although I will have to say I still do it for some of the smaller tanks. When it comes to a bigger tank, that is not the life you want. Listen, we have to do it sometimes, and if you're okay with the bucket game, that's fine. I am done with buckets though. So I invested, now for the big tank, I invested in a pump that pumps out the water. And I also have a hose that connects to my faucet that puts water back in, because no, I don't need to be more muscled up than I am. No, the bucket game is not for me. I wish to have a life without buckets, but it's not gonna happen because you cannot put a big pump inside a tiny tank. So for these tiny tanks, it's just much easier to still use buckets. But when it comes to bigger tanks, that is not a good life. No, we need to make a change. You need to make a change. If your back is screaming at you, if you're like, there must be a better way, yes, there is. So water pump and a hose connected to your water supply and your life will be better. You're welcome. What would you do without me? Next up, when glass gets blurry and needs cleaning. You know those days when you look at your tank and it's so beautiful and you're having such a good time, but then you squint. You're like, why am I squinting? Why do I need to squint right now? Do I have something in my eye? No, but I don't see clearly in my tank. What is going on? And there's that little layer of probably biofilm and a little algae. And you're like, oh, it's that time again. Well, there is a solution for that. It's called a magnet actually. You have a magnet, like a more abrasive side and, a softer side for the outside, and you just run the magnet and poof, everything is okay. I discovered the magnet game later, not early, because I always thought, no, magnets can scratch up glass, and they can, but not as much as you'd think, and also it just helps a lot with cleaning the face of your tank when it's not water change day. No, it's not time to change the water. But you want that glass to be clean without you getting your towels and everything and the scraper and everything. Put your hand inside with the little sponge. That's so annoying for me. But ever since I got just a magnet, everything is so much better. And if the glass gets a little scratched, what can you do? What can we do at this point? My back is really thanking me for this, but isn't it annoying when, you look at the glass and all of a sudden you realize it's not clear. Oh no, you have guests over coming like 5 minutes. What should I clean first? The kitchen or the tank? It's a pickle. What do we clean first? The sink in the kitchen or the tank? They're just as important. Next up, number 8. Java fern making babies on leaf tip. Is it just me? Oh my gosh. Microsorium, not Windalow. Just the normal, Theropus? How is it? Microsorium Theropus. Let's call it like that. Sometimes when it's feeling very good in your tank, it will start to put out babies on the edge of the leaves because they're fern, right? They're fern plants. So they do have spores and they sprout baby plants. And those baby plants will make a little bit of a root system and they will just look so bad. It's spoiling my entire vision for the tank. It's so annoying. Is it just me? I don't like when Java ferns do that. That's why I don't use Java ferns. The only Java fern that Microsorium that I really like is the Windalow version, which is a little freely at the edge or at the tip of the leaf. And it doesn't seem to put out those babies as much. Yeah, I don't like Java fern at all for that reason. Do you guys like it? I don't know. But I really avoid that plant because of this reason. And there's no way to make it stop doing that. The better it feels, the more babies it makes. Am I gonna stress it? What am I gonna do with it? Right, next up, second to last. Wood leaching tannins for 2.5 Christmases. There are those types of woods that will leach the browniness in the water, the tan, and the cloudiness for like a week or two, and then they're kind of done and everything returns to normal and it's beautiful and everything. That's great, but there are those types of woods which just leach like forever, and they don't leach a little bit. They make the water red. It's so annoying because if you have the intention to make like a dark black water biotope, that's great. Those pieces of wood are great. But which ones are they? Because you would think it's a particular type of wood, and it could be, but in my experience, in that particular type of wood, which is known to release tannins, some leach out more than others and for longer. And they look the same, and they're the same thing when you purchase them. How do we differentiate? Because, for example, I don't want black water. Which one should I buy? I don't know. You never know with these things. So what are you gonna do? Just gonna do water changes. Oh, brother, I don't like doing a million water changes, but sometimes I do. Because why? Well, last item on my list today, because brown water. I don't like it. And I know there will be so many of you saying, oh, but it's just so natural and so beautiful and like everything looks so nice. And I get it. I see these tanks in videos, especially when you have a school of neon tetras. That neon looks like it belongs. Like, I get it. I like looking at them in videos and maybe in somebody else's home. I get it, but I personally get really frustrated with brown water, and in the end, if it's not in a biotope that, you know, has the scape to match it and the fish to match it, brown water is just not clean water for me. I don't like it. I like my water to be crystal. Well, not really. As non-brown as possible. When I see extra tannin from the wood accumulate, no, it looks dirty to me. I don't like it. The only like instance in which I like black water is in the biotope, let's say, setup. Would I make a biotope for myself? I don't know. Maybe I will try it. I'm more of the whimsical, like scape type of a girl, you know, while still using natural stuff. If I would ever try like black water things, it would have to be like a proper biotope. That's the only, let's say, setup in which I accept brown water. Other than that, I don't. I have such a reaction to it. I feel like I need to clean the tank. I don't like it at all, one bit. Anybody else? I don't know. But speaking about biotopes, maybe I think I would try it, because I never had a biotope since I'm not a fan of brown water. But like with the right fish and the right setup, when I see it in videos, I find it really beautiful indeed, even if it's not really my type. So I'm tempted to try it once, just to see how it is. I might not keep the setup for long, but you know, it's like the discus. I kind of want to test it once. I have to do a lot of research. I have to do my homework. But yeah, other than that, brown water is a no for me. Anyway, but those were the next 10 things that annoy me in aquariums. Let me know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have other annoyances that I didn't mention? Let me know in the comment. I'm really curious. And as always, I hope you found this entertaining. And, you know, making fun of stuff, I think it's just de-stressing. We don't need to take things so seriously all the time, you know? When I say it's annoying, it's not that annoying. I'm just doing that for comedic relief. The timer thing. Yes, I have a million timers. Is my life really all that affected? Not really, but it's nice to complain about it. Anyway, so that is about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a good time, and I'll see you next time. Bye!